All right, let's talk about something really important. We're going to break down some of the biggest myths about AI, the kind of myths that are probably breaking your company's security right now from the inside. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so get this. This quote really hits it on the head. Most of the time when AI security fails, it's not because of some super genius hacker. No, it starts with myths. Yeah, simple stories we tell ourselves about what AI is, what it can do. And these stories feel totally true, right? Well, they feel true right up until everything goes wrong and you're dealing with a massive breach.
So, before we bust any myths, we have to get on the same page about what AI actually is. And listen, this is super important. It is not a brain in a box. It's not your new coworker. It's just a prediction engine. That's it. It just looks at a mountain of data and makes a really good guess about what word or what pixel should come next. It has zero understanding of why. It only predicts what. And honestly, forgetting that single fact is the root cause of so many security problems. Yeah, that whole misunderstanding, thinking AI actually thinks, that's where the real trouble begins. The danger isn't even the tech itself, it's our own bad assumptions about it. So let's just dive right in and tackle the very first myth. Okay, myth number one, AI is objective. It's easy to fall for this one. We think, hey, it's just code and data, it's gotta be neutral, right? But that's a huge, huge mistake. An AI doesn't give you the truth. It just gives you the most probable answer based on its training data. And guess what? That data was made by humans, so it is absolutely packed with all of our human biases.
And look, here's how that belief turns into a real-world disaster. When your teams start trusting the AI's output like it's gospel, they just stop thinking critically. They stop asking questions, and boom, that's how biased approvals for hiring or loans just sail right on through. It's how new types of fraud get completely missed because they don't look like the old stuff. And all of a sudden, you're breaking compliance rules without anyone even noticing, all because the computer said it was okay.
All right, so the next couple of myths are all about something we humans just love to do. We personify things. We start believing the machine has a mind, that it gets things the way we do. And let me tell you, this is where things can get seriously dangerous. So, myth number two, AI understands context. I mean, you see it writing a perfect email or a great summary, and you can't help but think it gets it. Like it understands your company's policies or the subtle context of a conversation. But it doesn't. Not at all. It's just playing a high-stakes game of what word comes next. It has absolutely no clue what you're actually trying to do. So what's the big deal? Well, here's the security consequence. Because it has no real context, it's super easy to trick. Attackers can use something called prompt injection, which is basically a clever way of talking to the AI to make it ignore all its safety rules and just start leaking sensitive data. The bottom line here is amazing. You really shouldn't give an AI any more authority than you'd give the autocomplete on your phone. Think about that. Okay, myth number three. AI can replace human judgment. And man, this one is so tempting. Why? Because AI is fast, and even more than that, it's confident. It'll give you an answer with total certainty, even when it's just completely, totally wrong. When it's hallucinating. And that confidence is so powerful, it makes you just want to say, you know what? Let the machine handle it. But when you start believing the model knows what it's doing, you fall into this psychological trap. It's a real thing. It's called automation bias. Basically, we get lazy. We get complacent. Security teams start skipping their usual manual checks. Managers just approve whatever the system spits out without even thinking. And just like that, accountability goes right out the window. Remember this. AI can be a great accelerator for human judgment, but it can never, ever be a replacement. So that brings us to our next big category of myths. Let's call them the myths of the AI fortress. This is all about the seriously flawed idea that the technology can somehow protect itself. And that right there is a massive mistake in how we design these systems. All right, myth number four, bigger models are safer. You hear this all the time in tech, right? Bigger is always better. So a bigger AI model must be smarter. And if it's smarter, it's got to be safer. Makes sense, doesn't it? Well, it's completely wrong. The reality is actually the exact opposite. Here's why. A bigger model just means there's a bigger target for attackers. It's a larger attack surface. More complexity means more little cracks and loopholes an attacker can use to jailbreak it, to trick it into breaking its own rules. And more training data, that just means there's a higher chance some of your private, sensitive data is going to get accidentally spit out in an answer. So the key isn't size. Security is all about control. Now for myth number 5. AI can secure itself. This might be the single most dangerous myth out there for anyone working in security. It's this idea that you can just tell an AI to check itself for security holes and fix them. It sounds great, right? Super efficient. But it's a deeply, fundamentally broken idea. Let's go back to basics. An AI only knows past patterns. It can't think about brand new threats it's never seen before. So when you ask an AI to secure itself, you're creating what's called a self-referential trust loop. Basically, the system is grading its own homework. And you wouldn't trust that, right? Of course not. Real security has to come from the outside. It has to be independent. So this all leads to a pretty big question, doesn't it? If we can't trust the AI's mind, and we can't trust it to be a fortress, then what on earth are we supposed to secure? If the model itself is always going to be a bit broken, biased, and insecure, what do we do? Where do we even start? And here's the answer. It's a complete shift in how you think about the problem. You have to stop trying to secure the AI model itself. That's a losing battle. Instead, you secure the system that the model is a part of. That right there? That's the secret to modern AI security. So what does that actually look like? Well, here's the playbook. First, you audit the system. Forget trying to audit the model's brain. You can't. But you can audit the data that goes in and the results that come out. Second, you monitor it externally. You watch its behavior with independent tools, just like you would any other important piece of software. Third, you control it. You put hard limits on what it's allowed to do and what data it can touch. And finally, you document everything. The whole black box thing, don't let that become an excuse for bad governance. And all of this brings us to the biggest myth of them all, the one that's kind of lurking underneath everything else. It's the myth that AI is just a tool. We love saying that, right? It makes it sound simple, controllable, like a hammer or an Excel spreadsheet. But that thinking is just way, way too small. Here's the really crucial idea. AI is not a tool. It's a system component. See the difference? A tool is something you pick up and use. A component is something you plug into a much bigger machine. And once you plug it in, it changes how the entire system works. The people, the processes, the risks, everything. So you can't just secure the shiny new AI part. You have to secure the whole system it's now a part of. Okay, so we've covered a lot. But if you're going to walk away from this with just one big idea, what should it be? Let's boil it all down. First, AI doesn't think. Period. It predicts. That's all. Second, systems think. The workflows we designed, the rules we set, the human oversight we build in, that's where the real thinking happens. And third, and this is the most important one, people decide. The technology can give you an output, a suggestion, a prediction, but the final call, the judgment, the accountability, that has to stay with the person, always.